Pastor Dr. Jamal Bryant,
Yes.
Birth Missionary Baptist Church, thank you so much for some time because I know this is a busy season. We're ahead of Easter and we're coming off the end of the 40-day Target fast. So for someone who maybe heard about it in passing, what really is the goal here? What are y'all pushing with the Target fast?
We are pushing Black business and Black respect. We have over $2 trillion worth of spending power, and we ought to go not where we're tolerated, but where we're celebrated. We were disturbed and offended, if not betrayed, that Target walked away from equity, diversity, and inclusion when we've been faithful partners and consumers.
And you said you've been in conversation with Target. What have those conversations and talks been like?
They have been robust, healthy, and a whole lot of work. We're still in the final rounds of trying to find a resolve and common ground, but I feel expectant and hopeful that we'll be able to reach it.
So what made you think about a fast from Target? You know, we've heard about boycotts, especially in the Black community before, but for something of this scale, we saw it not just here in your church community, but people were talking about this all over the country. I know y'all had close to, if not more than 200,000 people sign up to participate.
Yes.
What were y'all hoping for and expecting out of this?
We were hoping for 100,000. And so our expectation was doubled, and I am just so grateful that the nation saw the vision and latched a hold of it. And I believe it begins a new dawn for the Black church and social activism, and a new generation seeing something happen in their lifetime that is effective and positive.
So as part of that, we're here at the Bullseye Black Market. Mm-hmm. What's the goal here? How is this an extension of the work that y'all are doing, and what's the goal and mission with this?
You can't tell people what not to do without telling them what they can do. And so this is diverting dollars away from Target to Black business. This is so critical for us that we would value, appreciate, and support entrepreneurship. And so we hope that this in some small way will spark a flame for people to be conscientious about their consumption.
And this isn't just here in Atlanta.
No, it's 5 cities that are doing it: Houston, Dallas, Chicago, New York, and Atlanta.
So how do we move from here?
Yes.
Because a lot of folks, you know, have Target addictions, they might have said, or at least they may have in the past.
Yeah.
How do we move forward?
It takes 30 days to create a habit. And so people now are in the habit of not going. For them to go back, that Herculean task is left on the shoulders of Target. In the interim, I hope that people will find and support minority vendors who have some of the best wares and goods and services, but just may not be known. And so every person who signed up for Target Fast on our website got a digital directory of 300,000 Black businesses around the country.
So what's next here?
Yes.
What can you tell me about what we can expect in this movement next?
Yes. I can tell you that Target was first, but they may not be last. I can tell you that 40 days was a benchmark. It wasn't a finish line. And so Sunday we'll be clearing our throat to figure out what direction and how long the next interval will be.
When we think about efforts like this, it kind of harkens us back to civil rights, Montgomery bus boycott, and so many other efforts like that. Why this and why now?
I think this is called a fast because I wanted it to be a spiritual journey that's laced with prayer and focus and submission to God, that we didn't do it out of emotion, out of anger, rage, and disappointment, but we did it under the abiding presence of what God can do. We champion that God will fight our battle. We are in one right now. About the banning of books, about the changing of curriculums, about the threats amongst HBCUs, the aim at Medicare and Medicaid. And so I wanted the church to fight this spiritually as well as economically.
And folks may or may not remember, this isn't the first time that we've seen the church get involved in issues that were very important to the community as a whole. Why do you think we may have strayed away from that, and why do you think that's the way to affect change here?
I think that the church in the last 25 years shifted its focus from group development to personal achievement. And I think that we've got to go back to what is the good of the whole, not as what is the victory for the one.
I think that's important because a lot of
Yes.
folks, you hear people saying, I'm not a Christian, I'm religious,
Yes.
or different things like that.
Yeah.
And so, do you think that that's something that kind of maybe speaks to what people feel about religion?
This is the largest demographic of black people in our history in America who don't go to church. We're up to 24 to 26%. So I'm hoping that this gives an opportunity for people to look at church differently, give it another chance and another opportunity, and what better weekend than Easter?
All right, so I want to shift gears a little bit and talk to you about an incident that happened earlier this year. We saw it online. There were a group of African Americans at the White House,
Yeah.
and they had your face.
Yeah.
They were moving it around, and this all came after some of the talks and discussions with things like the Target fast.
Yeah.
What was your reaction to seeing that happen, and what do you think about the situation?
I was in shock that of all of the people that they would put my face on signs in the White House, not Jasmine Crockett, not Raphael Warnock, not Hakeem Jeffries, but whenever it is that you make an economic impact, you will disrupt and disturb the establishment. So it meant that we were really onto something and they wanted neutralized.
So when we think about some of the things that we are experiencing and observing, not just here in Georgia, not just DeKalb County, but across the country, you talked about Medicare and Medicaid, DEI, book banning, school curriculums. What do you think the church's role is in working to address some of the things that people see that they may not like that are happening?
Yeah, the church has the moral authority where the government does not. It is the call to compassion. Elon Musk said the greatest weakness of America is empathy. But we are called as Christians to empathize with the downtrodden and the marginalized and the oppressed. And I think that that's where the church steps in and fills that gap.
So how do we kind of find the balance there between one church that says we need this empathy and another church that says this is not the way?
Yeah, I think that's the reality of church in America. It's always been two. There's been one church that fought for integration. There was another church that fought for segregation. And so the Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. We're just seeing a different iteration of it.
Okay, so I kind of want to stick with the online stuff.
Okay.
Because you go viral quite frequently.
Yes.
In fact, one of my favorite videos
Yes.
is Young Sacred
Yes.
and the music going on in there. What is your reaction to that happening? I know you're not a stranger to being out in the public
Yeah.
and being in the forefront, but what do you think about social media taking to things that are going on in the church and
Yeah.
that you're doing so much? I know you've got a podcast going on.
Yeah.
What is your take on all of that?
The reality is social media is no longer an elective, it's the core curriculum. It is a part of the culture of our lives. Our church streams on social media. We have prayer on social media, the Bible study on social media. So you have to take the good and the bad, eat the meat and spit out the bones, and know that everything that you say or do is Googleable. And so you have to be held accountable for it.
All right, so what is your message this Easter? We're
Yeah.
coming off this Target fast,
Yes.
and we're approaching this holy time in the Christian faith. What do you think the world needs to hear right now?
Is that a bull, when it is in the arena in Spain, does not go after a red flag because it's colorblind. It only attacks the movement. And so what you're seeing in America is not about color, it's about a movement. So you're seeing people protest about Tesla. You're seeing people protest about the false imprisonment of students from Columbia University, the refusal to bring back the young man who is in prison. So America is seeing a wave of radical thought that is not limited to black and brown, but is moving America in the wrong direction, and a lot of people are pushing against it.
I have one last question for you.
Yes.
Because I can feel your passion.
Yeah.
Have you thought, has it kind of entered your mind ever to get into the world of politics? It wouldn't be the first time that we've seen a pastor, especially here in Atlanta, throw their hat in the ring. Has that ever crossed your mind? Is that something that you could see in the future for
I
yourself?
think that's what I'm doing. It's called social justice. or liberation theology. And you don't need a title to do it. You need a call, and I feel like I'm walking in my call.
Do you think you're ever going to run for a particular office outside of the efforts that you're already doing?
I'm running for my life. My wife will only let me run to the store and be back in 30 minutes. Outside of that, I don't see anything. But I'm grateful to Pastor Newbirth, and that's more than enough on my plate.